Planet Dolan.
From asking for underwear to pushing people off of a Ferris wheel, the Planet Dolan Crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the creepiest things strangers have said to us. I'm Doopy, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Ghostcatcoon. When Ghost Toast was 7 or 8, he had new neighbors move in near him, but he never really met them. One day, while walking down the sidewalk to his friend's house, Ghost Toast tripped and a man walked over as he got up. The man said, "I like your underwear. Can I have them?" Little Ghost Toast said no and ran back over to his dad's house, where his stepmom was luckily on the front porch. Ghost Toast found out about a year later that guy was a pedophile and was arrested. Number 9 was submitted by XX Small Potato XX. Spincess and her mom were grocery shopping one day, and while looking for the lettuce, Spincess saw one of her friends from high school. They talked for a bit before Spincess's mom left them alone to grab some cereal. There was an awkward silence after she left. Eventually, the man said, "You and your mom are giving me a huge boner." Spincess looked up from her phone in disgust as the man just stared at her as if he did nothing wrong. Spincess called store security, which turned out to be a good thing. Apparently, the guy was a wanted rapist. Number 8 was submitted by HypernovaRain. Legna and his mom went to New York to visit their family for Thanksgiving. As they were walking through Port Authority, an old homeless woman walked up to Legna and said, "You shall die and never leave." Legna wasn't sure what she meant by that, but he doubts even she knew what she was talking about. Not long after, Legna saw an old guy wearing a tutu while riding a scooter. Legna now thinks New York is pretty cool. Number 7 was submitted by Hellbentfanboy. Hellbent once ran into a man who just randomly asked if he liked spying on women when they take a shower. Hellbent said,
"No, I'm not a pervert!"
For some reason, the man responded with, "Did you know that I lost my virginity from a homeless woman?" Hellbent walked away slowly, but the man grabbed Hellbent by the hoodie and stroked his back. Hellbent punched him in the jaw and ran away as fast as he could. Number 6 was submitted by McQuackers. Civil Spider was walking down the street in New York when a tall, thin stranger came up to him. He looked a bit crazy or drunk, maybe both. The man reached into his pocket and pulled out a stick. He gave it to Civil Spider and said, "This is your only hope to fight off the shadows. They came from out of the walls. They will consume you." He then ran away. Number 5 was submitted by Saki Boy. When Gurgak was 11, he was walking home from school when he saw a homeless guy on the sidewalk. Gurgak said hi and gave him $3. But while Gurgak was handing him the money, the man grabbed his hand and said, "Nice hand, kid. You wanna feel something else?" Gurgak quickly ran home and told his parents. They called the police and had the man arrested. It turns out the man wasn't a homeless man. He was actually a rapist who had been a fugitive for 2 months. Number 4 was submitted by Godly Fox 33. When Andy Mations was 6 years old, her whole family went to a carnival for her younger sister's birthday. When they were eating, an older man came up to their table and said, "2 at 3, 1 at 3:30. Don't go on the Ferris wheel." They obviously didn't know what he meant and laughed it off while watching him go table to table, probably telling others the same thing. After they got home, Andy's parents turned on the news to find out that 3 people had been pushed off of the Ferris wheel by the guy who was talking to them. When medics arrived, he pushed a 14-year-old girl off. Number 3 was submitted by Tapestry556 Dice. When Snoopy was about 7 or 8 years old, she went to the gas station across the street to get some candy. As she was looking at the candy bars, an old man walked in. He walked down the aisle Snoopy was in, stopped behind her, put his hands on her shoulders, and gripped them tightly. Snoopy immediately felt uncomfortable. The man got so close to Snoopy's ear, she could feel his breath on her neck. Then he whispered, "Wanna know how my daughter died?" Snoopy stood frozen and didn't say a word. The man continued, "I just can't handle some girls, but I'm sure I can handle you." Snoopy started whimpering in fear, but at that point, the cashier told the man to leave. The man flicked Snoopy's ear and left. The cashier bought Snoopy a candy pack of gum because he felt bad. Number 2 was submitted by Shaboops. Mimi used to take the city bus to and from school. One day, it started raining while walking to the bus stop. So by the time Mimi got onto the bus, she was soaking wet and the bus was full. Mimi ended up standing in the middle of the bus, sandwiched between people until a guy moved all the way across the bus to stand in front of her and deliberately press his chest against hers. Mimi tried backing up, but the man leaned closer and whispered in her ear, "If you say anything, I'll be wearing your skin home instead of my jacket." Then he licked Mimi's ear and got off the bus. Later that day, Mimi washed herself for like an hour in the shower. Number 1 was submitted by me. When I was in junior high, one of my teachers gave me the heebie-jeebies. Every day after class, he'd pull me aside just to talk to me. It was always about weird, random conversations, as if he was making excuses to talk to me. The weirdest thing he asked me was if I joined the girls' track team because I, quote, had the perfect legs for it. Eventually, I started rushing out of class before he could pull me aside. He wasn't exactly a stranger, but he didn't know me either. Creepy. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. I hope you feel like sharing your story, cause we wanna know, what's the creepiest thing a stranger has ever said to you? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below and you might be featured in a future countdown.
This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thank you for the support, guys.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.